What's up, guys? In this episode, I go over the Empress Heavy preamp pedal. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Louie Torres, and like I mentioned, I have the Empress Heavy, and here's one thing about this pedal, and this is just my own experience. Even before I start, this episode is going to be long, so go grab some popcorn, and I'll see you in a second. So, this pedal, when my buddy Steve first told me about it, I was just like, I remember just thinking, who wants to call their pedal the Heavy? I just kind of thought it was cheesy, and I didn't really know too many people that play really heavy that actually have this heavy pedal. And of course, there's one. It's basically a dual distortion pedal. So there's a heavy option, and then there's a heavier option found on the heavy pedal. And I was just like, corny cheese ball, corn, and a little extra butter on that corn. So, and if you guys know me and you've been watching my channel for a while, then you know I love my preamp pedals. I have things like the Wampler Dracaris that you can actually use as a preamp. You literally want to use it in front of a clean channel, but it's essentially, if you throw it through the effects loop, it's a preamp pedal. Then I have things, you guys know I'm all about Kyle. I have this series, and this series. What else? I have the 2 notes lead. This thing is absolutely amazing. It has a 12AX7 tube inside it. Kind of gimmicky, and it totally is, but you definitely can use this as your preamp if you're running it through your favorite power amp section and then just throw a boost on it. Dude, this is your pedal in disguise, or your amp in disguise. Then I have the incredible Kraken. Dude, if you haven't tried this thing out, it's a beast. And it's a giant pedal, too. What else do I have here? I have my Dr. Boogie, which is a rectifier in a pedal. This is my modded Metal Zone, which of course, same thing. You can actually run it through your favorite power amp or run it through your effects loop. Don't throw this thing through the front because you're just going to get bees. And then last but not least, my Dietzel Herbert. This is an incredible preamp pedal. So, what I'm basically saying is I love my preamp pedals. So, with the KSR Ceres being my favorite preamp pedal, I almost felt like, son, I don't need any other pedals. Why? It's like, if you have a Bogner Uberschall or a Friedman, like a BE 100, do you really need any other amp? You can get a Driftwood, you can get a KSR, but for the most part, if you can buy 1 or 2 amps and literally just crush everything else that's out there. So, but that's not fun, right? So I ended up getting this Empress Heavy, and the funny thing is, although it has a bunch of knobs and doohickeys, it's actually relatively small, considering the fact that things like the Amp Tweaker Type Metal Pro 2 is probably 3 times the size of this. And then, of course, when you're comparing it to the lead, it's just a huge difference. So I love the fact that it's compact. And actually, I'll compare it to the KSR because I know a lot of guys have it. So you can see size-wise the size difference. So this thing, so my buddy Greg, and I'll put a link below to Greg's channel, Greg Block, he's absolutely hilarious, so just make sure you check his channel. So I watched one of his videos, and he kind of went over the fact that it actually has 2 built-in gates, and he said that it actually worked relatively well. But I've used other pedals that have built-in gates, and they're pretty terrible. This thing is incredible. The gate works as it should. There's no key on it. It's just in, out, done. Again, if you're using it as a preamp, you will not need a boost or anything alongside it, which is good because some of these pedals, you kind of have to. With the exception of like the KSR, you can get away with fine-tuning it and you're fine. If you want a little extra, then you would get something like a Boss parametric EQ. But this thing has a high and a low knob, and the 2 channels actually share the high and low. So for me, I always, with this pedal, I have the low at 50% and the high set to max, because now I can adjust everything else. So you have the gain and the mid, and here's the kind of awesomeness with this pedal is you can adjust the frequency on the mid. And I hate, dude, you kidding? Yo, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a hardcore kid. You know, I'm all about scooping the mids. But you can actually add as much as, you know, you can set your mid to 2 o'clock and just adjust the mid frequency to 500, 250, or 2K on there, which is 6. So I actually put it right in the middle. And I do the same with the heavier side. And there's a knob that's called weight. I still don't know what the weight option is. All I know is I want the weight between noon and 2 o'clock. That's kind of my preference. I just have to look into, or at least look at the instructions to see what the heck that is. But I know that I don't like if I set it to the far left or around 8 o'clock. That kind of just doesn't jive with me. But around anywhere between noon to 2 o'clock, it's perfect. And I've been using the heavy side, and, you know, again, like I usually say, you know, for ages, my favorite preamp pedal has been the KSR Ceres, and this thing is just as incredible. But then here's the difference, is this almost has a little more body the way my Bogner Uberschall does. So if you have a Bogner or ever used one, if you've used one and compared it to something like a PV5150, the PV5150 just sounds good, whereas the Bogner has like this full body, you know, tone that just sounds absolutely perfect, which is why for ages, unless I get something else, the Bogner Uberschall is without question my favorite amp. Just because it lacks, everything else that I have lacks that fullness, you know? And interestingly enough, that fullness is found in this pedal and is not found in the KSR Ceres unless I use a parametric EQ. Then I can actually bring it up and it sounds perfect. Okay, so I'm going on 8 minutes talking, Jesus Christmas. So I'm going to run this out of my KSR PA50 power amp, and that's it. You know, I'm going to be using the built-in noise gate on it. I'm going to be using my 1991 ESP Horizon Custom, and let's have a listen. Okay, so I'm literally plugged guitar right into the pedal and out to the PA50, which is right next to my Spawn, and I have to plug this puppy in again. Oh, no, it just unplugged. You know, and I'm not even going to bother with the with the heavier side, which is the right side of the pedal, just because I feel like there's just a little extra gain and that's it. And it's almost too much gain, if that even can be done. But the heavy, left side is more than enough. Like it's, you can go from a classic rock tone up to anything heavy and in your face, complete craziness. So I'm going to switch over now, and you guys let me know what you think. And hopefully you guys would like it. And, if I may not be a great guitarist, but I know tone. And if you want something that's going to blow your face right off your freaking body, the Empress Heavy, as cheesy and corny as the name is, it's just insane. It's just, I put it on and I immediately, just to give you an idea, because Tony Peppers, who's awesome from Peppers Pedals in New Zealand, made me an A-B switch for me to test different pedals, right? So I can toggle between two pedals, and just by hitting this one, so I was comparing the KSR to the Empress, and dude, it's good. It's really good. It's just like, I could probably get rid of a lot of pedals just because of this one. Like, that's how legit this pedal is. So hopefully you guys will like it. Again, don't mind the dad core. It is what it is. It's what happens when you're in your 50s. You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys, so there you have it. Again, the Empress Heavy. My boy Todd was like, yo, why are there so many knobs? As long, and this is, initially you kind of get a little overwhelmed because you're already thinking, like, dude, how many treble and mids could you possibly need in a pedal? But again, these two in the middle is just high-low, and then everything on the right, which are these four, and to the left, these four, are just together with the two stompers that are on there. And here's the whole thing. Listen, if you're kind of like in a pinch and you're going to go play a show, thank God things are finally opening up in the US and bands are out playing shows. It's about time. It's been a crazy 15 or so months. But if you're in a pinch and you need to grab yourself an incredible preamp pedal because you're going to have access to name a slew of different amps that have an effects loop. So you're actually just going to bypass the preamp on that amp and run out of whatever cabinet is there. This is going to save you like you have no idea. For the price at $299, I mean, you can get them used for like $260, give or take. Well worth it. Absolutely, ridiculous. Yo, I can't stress it. Yo, I know a bunch of you guys are just like, bro, are you kidding me again? Another pedal that I need to buy? The only thing I can say is whatever pedal you have in your arsenal that you find and realize you never really use, sell it, put those funds into this thing, and again, and I know this has happened before where I'm suddenly like in shock trying to figure out like, oh, look, I could sell a bunch of my pedals and, bank $2,000 just because this pedal literally wipes clean all these, a bunch of different preamp pedals that I have. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something that is brutal, dude, I cannot stress how ridiculously brutal this thing is. I'm telling you, when I first plugged it in, I was just like, stop. No, no. So, I played around with it a little more. I was just like, really? Then I switched over to my Diesel and I was just like, okay, I can hear what this pedal brings to the table that the Diesel isn't even close to. Again, the only pedal that's in the ballpark is the KSR Ceres, whatever. Um, so this is great. This is great. Maybe a pinch better. And again, it's just, if you have this already, then you don't necessarily need the Empress. Again, to get this tone, I literally was able to duplicate it using this pedal along with my Boss parametric EQ pedal, but that pedal's $200. So if you bought this for $400 and you now have to spend another $200, it is what it is. But now you basically are able to fly, you're just on the fly. You can just do whatever you want. You can take this, either one, and go to your buddy's house and just jam, But because I'm yapping about the Empress Heavy, you're going to love it. And buy it if you're trying to figure out what to get, This thing, I ended up running out of my 20-watt more tube engine, and it sounded fantastic. I ran this out of my Mesa 290, sounded great, and ran it out of my Marshall 8008 single rack, which is that gold one right there. And it just sounded just as incredible. So yeah, this Empress Heavy is ridiculously amazing. I probably wouldn't have named it the Heavy, but I get that they wanted to be literal, and basically, let you guys know this is heavy. This is ridiculously heavy and brutal and incredible. So if you guys ever get the chance, pick up the Empress Heavy. And thank you so much for watching. Listen, I needed to take a little vacation from YouTube. It just drives me cuckoo, and with all these meme stocks going on, and I'm on this stock market roller coaster on the plus side of things, but it's just crazy yanking my hair out all day long. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't get stuck holding on to Clove or AMC or anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best, and as usual, I will talk to you soon, jerkface.